Hi, so on today's episode, I'm wanting to talk about something that a lot of people don't recognize that they deal with. And if they did, they'd probably approach things in a little different way. And it's the idea of disassociation, disconnecting from what's actually happening in our immediate experience. And people go into bypassing. They run away from what's really going on in their world, and they run off into breath work, or they run off into psychedelics and all these dissociative experiences, or they check out sex too much, or drugs and alcohol, and they're chasing things, even sugar and food addictions. A lot of this is running away from the problems that are actually inside. Now, these problems aren't as real as they are felt, and they are felt in an intense way, so we want to pull away from them. And this is the big challenge, is most people don't realize how much they're running away from themselves, and how much that running is actually causing a problem in their real world. So there are a lot of different modalities and a lot of different ways to approach this. But one of the most interesting ways that I've seen is specifically working on disassociation, working on breaking up the space to which these aspects hide. Now, when you synthesize this and understanding parts work and different trauma modalities, and we kind of converge all of them into an appropriation of what's really going on, we can maybe get a better understanding of what we're trying to do. The way I see it is that we're trying to consolidate the space to which these problematic structures within ourself operate and hide. These defensive patterns and these egoic structures hide. And so, what does that actually mean? Well, I mean, I wish I could show you a diagram, but I don't have one. So, it's like we all live in these different spaces within ourselves. Some are dissociated, some are in different problematic areas. These parts of us occupy these territory. And by breaking up dissociation, reassociating to the aspects of ourself, which is closer to the essential core of who we are, which is our beingness, the presence closer to our soul, we start to close down the area to where these parts and these aspects of ourself hide. And this brings us, it can be let's not pretend that it can't be destabilizing, because it can be very destabilizing. It can be very challenging. It can pressurize whatever's going on inside of you. But this is where we alchemize change, because when we put the pressure in the right context, then we can really see some good results. So I just want to bring this up because it's something that a lot of people don't recognize is a way to break through habits and ways that they've been operating in their life that maybe seem deep ingrained and maybe seem like they can never get out of, like they're going to be there for the whole life. These are ways that we can actually change it. So I've found a certain type of non-sleep deep rest, yoga nidra, trance, this kind of like hybrid model, they call it in some psychedelic therapy. There's a PSIP, and there's this deeper model where you're doing relational work while breaking up disassociation in your experience. Now, people do psychedelics with this. I've actually seen great success without doing it with psychedelics, and a lot of people find that it's a bit too intense to go into the psychedelic space with this. And what I've actually found is that people contract less when they have this psychedelic experience, and they can stick with the immediacy of what's happening as the charge builds up in their system, and they can work with the relational constructs that are actually keeping them in fear. So it's really interesting work, and I think it's a really great way to rewind the tape of trauma in our relationships, and sort of unravel the trauma that we seem to experience with each other. Because it's one thing to have a great relationship with an external, ethereal, existential void of God and the all, but it's another to feel like real openness, love, and safety with the other person. And I think that's what's really powerful, is healing that and coming back to ourselves and recognizing where we can let love in, where we can feel okay and safe to love others. And I feel like it's that simple, although it's not. It's super complex and subtle, and personality structures and egos, and there's all these defensive measures that seem to come out. But if we can build the right container where we can support people in the proper way to close up that space and facilitate the work on the inside, then the alchemization of what's really happening deeper to the truth, I think, can really take place, and we can see real change. This is what I see with the people I work with. I see a real change. I see dramatic breakthroughs. And when you couple this with the right framework of understanding, I mean, I think I think it's limitless. don't know, I shouldn't say limitless. I have a hopeful nature towards being able to solve whatever's going on within people because I want to believe and I want to keep with hope. Hope is important. And yeah, this is like a touch in one of my first episodes, feeling a bit scattered, but I'm going to continue to try to record and just talk about some of the things that I find really compelling, important, and in hopes that it inspires you. And if you're interested for more, check out my website below and check out my Instagram. You can find me there. And I've got lots of more resources. And if you want to connect with me directly to get in touch and learn a little bit more about this work directly, reach out to me and I'd love to have a conversation. Hope this helps. Take care.